welcome to a new bonus episode of the Bleeding Metal podcast. My name is Kiki, my pronouns are she, her, and I am your host, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
Pia, my pronouns are also she, her.
And today we are bringing you two albums that came out just not too recently and fairly recently. And we will be talking about them. One of them is Heaven Queen. That's the name of the album and the band, right?
Yes, that's true.
And this comes to us from an old friend from the female-fronted metal supporters community that we have been following and been a part of since the beginning of our medium, of our magazine. And so we are very happy to be talking about this album that just came out on Halloween.
Yes. I think that fits very well because to me it has a very witchy aspect as well.
Yeah?
Yes, kind of. It's very spiritual. So yeah, for me the release date fits perfectly.
Yes. It is the most important celebration for witches like myself in the year. And this is a very complex album that has been in the works for over 10 years, since 2012, and the main artist behind it is Lavero. The whole project has just taken flight and taken a little more speed in the past year or year and a half. With the addition of new collaborators. So now it has finally seen the light of the world. There were already 2 singles, though, with respective music videos even, that came out in April.
The title track, Heaven Queen, by Heaven Queen from the album Heaven Queen.
Yeah.
And Fires of Beltane, let's say. Beltane. These are the 2 that have already been released previously, and now there are 13 tracks on the album that just came out. And the history behind the album is that the songs are based mostly on poems, and that's where Vero started with her idea of making this project. And as we see, she planned it for a while. And you can see that there is a lot of love in the details as well. For example, it has a really cool booklet, which is not normal these days.
Yeah.
Since most people listen to music digitally via Spotify and other streaming platforms. That is something that is not as common anymore.
True.
But this booklet is really, really beautiful, with a lot of photographs from the forest and also promo pics of her from different times of her life, I'd say. For example, also the cover artwork where we can see her on a horse is from a shoot, if I'm not mistaken, where she fell off that horse and she hurt her back very badly.
Oh no!
At this promo shoot, and it took her a while to recover from that. So that's one of the several reasons why it took so long to make this album happen. But I think it's really good that she took the time for a project that is so important for her, and now, it finally comes to life, to be consumed, to be listened to by all of us.
The album is also a mixture of so many different music genres. It's really interesting to see all of the different influences and all of the different collaborations that are also in it. There are guest vocals from Laura Huldemond from Burning Witches, Anna Moiseva from Imperial Age, and a few more. There's even a song by Carl Lean, whom we personally know from our back in the days in Metal Female Voices Fest. Shout out to Carl.
And of course, she has a lot of contact, especially to the female metal community, and that's that shows in this project as well with all the guests.
Yes, true. I'm also impressed by her vocal work. Her voice has a really nice tone and color, and she also does different techniques. There are like more head voicey, melodic, like in the power metal parts. It goes a little more, a little more clean and beautiful. And then she can also do some gritty, dirtier parts that sound a bit more almost aggressive. So yeah, that's some good work there.
To me, it sounds like she also improved her vocal style, because I know her vocals from several projects where she has also been guest vocalist. And this this work that she did here is on a new level.
Also, it's all a DIY project, if I understand correctly. She is the driving force behind Heaven Queen and has put everything together, and to some degree, it also shows. The sound quality is not always consistent throughout the whole album. There are a few parts and a few songs that sound a little more MIDI, a little more old computery, artificial, and others that sound really clean and well produced. And from a bit of a more music industry professional perspective, the press release could use a little improvement as well. But all in all, it's actually a pretty good output especially for a debut album.
Yeah, but now that you mentioned that, she gives a lot of info in this press kit, and I wrote reviews to some CDs lately, and there was not that much information. So I liked a lot that she also gave the information, like it's for fans of Nightwish or Delane and stuff like that. So yes, that's true. It could have a better look, but it has all the information that we need, and I think that's a very cool thing.
As always, there are good things and things that could get better, but yes, all in all, well done.
Nice debut.
The next album that we are going to talk about today is not a debut album anymore. This is a second full-length release that came out on September 15th. And it is Resolve from France, who have just released Human via A Rising Empire. And talking about press releases and such, the email that reached us with the release announcement has a quote from Pia's other podcast, Pommesgabel.
Oi, I didn't know that.
Really? It says, Pommesgabel podcast, quote, Resolve succeeds in creating a really multifaceted album. And that is absolutely true.
Yes.
Because like Heaven Queen, Resolve's Human also has a very cool mixture of different genres, actually. I was very impressed. I know this band from New Colors, and New Colors is still my favorite song of the album. It was one of the singles that came out a few months before the release, and it's just incredible. It's been stuck in my brain for a while. I love it. I love the song, absolutely. I love the theme of the song. I love the vocals on the song. I love the variety of sounds as well. But the album has that on a bigger scale even. What do you think about it, Pia?
You already quoted me. I also know their debut album, Me and the Machine, that came out in 2021, so it's not that old. And on that album, I remember that I was impressed by the vocalist. He has a very, very good, clean singing voice, and he also does the screams. But it all sounded more or less the same, so it was a very good metalcore debut album. And here, you have so many different influences, so many different styles, but still they made it sound like, yeah, this is one album. These songs belong together.
Yeah.
No song sounds alien or something. So I was very impressed that they improved their sound by using other influences and other styles also. And the best song for me on the album is Older Days, because they're working together with 1056, and the vocalist of Paleface was Mark Zellweger. And all three of them do screams, all three of them do rap parts, if I'm not mistaken, and also clean vocals. And so you have full vocal force, full vocal power on this song. And I think there is, if I remember correctly, there is one part where all of them scream at the same time. That's really cool. Also, in Comfortably Dumb, there are new metal elements.
Yeah.
And I have the impression that comes in more and more songs. So there's a kind of small new metal revival these days.
Absolutely. That has been happening for a while now, this year, maybe even since last year, that new metal is coming back. And that is super interesting to see, not only the old new metal big names like Limp Bizkit and Papa Roach be more active and be more celebrated, but also young newcomer bands start using new metal elements and bring them, I don't know, stronger or using them in a different way. So it's not the same. It's not a nostalgic kind of vibe. We want to do the new metal from 20 years ago. It's we're bringing some new metal in a different iteration and mixing it with modern hardcore and metalcore, and that is actually something that I like very much. I have always said like bass from old Korn would sound amazing with some different elements of other styles, and I'm finally getting to listen to that again. I also like that Comfortably Dumb is like a wordplay on Pink Floyd. And I love it. I'm absolutely here for it. And the next track on the album, Ignite, is also very different. And it struck me like this alternative rock from 20 years ago kind of thing. It has a bit of more aggressive vocals, but also more aggressive guitars. But otherwise, it could very well be Old Incubus almost.
Yes. Speaking about new metal again, I also like that these bands nowadays just take the elements and add them to their music and do not try to copy the bands from the early 2000s.
Of course.
Another song, or the song that surprised me the most, is Continuum, because it starts and it ends as a ballad, but the middle part is really heavy with screams and also more progressive. And yeah, I didn't expect that when the song started.
That is really good. Also, Moonchild is a bit weird, but also very nice. It's so dark and slow, but it still has like this spark of positivity almost. It's like one of those sad songs that are not sad, but like melancholic. And
yes,
I also like the fact that my favorite, New Colors, is the second to last track on the album. It's number 10 out of 11. And when I started listening to the album, I thought, okay, New Colors must be the next one. No, it must be the next one. No, it must be the next one. No. And they made me wait. And we have said this before on the podcast. When you release an album and you have released 5 of the songs already as singles, and they all come in the first half of the album, the rest becomes sometimes or can become very boring. And there's nothing, I don't know, worth giving it a listen anymore, or nothing surprising anymore. And that's when I remember saying something like, if that's going to be it, then I'd rather have a good EP with 5 strong songs than half an album that is good and the rest of the album is boring. But this one does not do that at all. New Colors is still also, it's almost the cherry on top of the album and almost coming at the end. Human is the first track and was also one of the singles, but it's not boring at all, not in the middle, not in the second part of the album. It's really strong. It's a very strong output.
Mm-hmm. What I think is outstanding for Resolve here also is that they did not try to just write hits that will go well on Spotify and other streaming platforms. They made something unique, and also did not do what many metalcore bands that I listen to do a lot. They also leave some space for the instrumentals, for instrumental parts. And there are so many metalcore bands out there that sound almost like pop music bands because they have vocals from the start until the end. And I've been listening to death metal for a long time. There are a lot of instrumental parts, and I miss that in so many metalcore bands, and I'm so happy that Resolve made space for that on this whole album.
Yes. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I was just thinking about Alcest. Whatever happened to Alcest?
I don't know.
That was a lot more instrumental.
Mm-hmm. Post-black metal band.
Yes. That was one that I actually also liked. But also it was so doomy gloomy and instrumental that I maybe could not have listened to it focusedly for a longer time. But it was really good to have in the background. And yeah, I was thinking about them, of course, because Resolve also come from France. And this might be a hot take and it might be early, but I think Resolve is where it's at in French metal right now.
Yes and no. Another very famous band from France is Landmarks. And they have a lot of variety, especially because their vocalist can do rap, screams, clean vocals. I don't know, almost everything, not operatic style, but he can do all the rest.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that one. Okay.
But yeah, they are almost there. Yeah.
Right. Landmarks, the one I
do not like because of the name.
Yes. Okay. I will work on my biases. I shall listen to Landmarks.
Landmarks.
But okay, then it's French metalcore is where it's at. Because also, where is Gojira?
Not metalcore.
I know.
Gojira released their most recent album Fortitude in 2021. And they released a single past year that was a really, really good one with a really cool campaign. So Gojira are there, still doing stuff and also doing good music.
Yeah, I know. I just saw them at Tuska.
I also like the artwork of the album because it's very black, and then you have the silver fingerprint. It's very simple.
Right. Resolve. Human. And the fingerprint is square shaped. And the lyrics for the title track begin with square shaped fingerprints. So it does give me the feeling of a concept album. I'm not sure. I scoured the release announcement email and it doesn't confirm nor deny my suspicions. But there is this theme of what it means to be human, where we're going as humankind, what's happening with artificial intelligence and technology, how we are dealing with it. It has a very futuristic perspective as well. Yeah, just from New Colors and Human alone, it's the vibe is there.
Maybe it's a loose concept because this song Move to Trash has been out for a while already. I don't know if they were written or together, or if there was a thought that they continued on the songs they were writing later. Maybe a loose concept. I don't think that there is a strict that it's a concept album 100%.
But it is very worth listening to. The whole album is really good. I think because it has such a variety of sound and genre elements. There is probably something for everyone. You can pick your own favorite song. It's probably gonna be New Colors. What?
All the days.
In Stone is also a really cool one. Death Awaits is the most played on Spotify at the moment.
I think that's the single they released when saying they're gonna release a new album.
Right. And yeah, and going back to In Stone, that one gives me a lot of Dayseeker vibes, especially newer Dayseeker, another band that I have come to love this year. So there's absolutely something for everyone. I just remembered when we were talking about metalcore, I just was listening to On Wednesdays We Were Black. Shout out to another very cool podcast. They said they had the hot take that metalcore has become Architects sound, or bands wanting to sound like Architects, and they were saying it should be called Architects Core. And Resolve absolutely don't do that. So,
but I can understand that because there are this kind of industrial style that Architects have in their music that is you can hear in a lot of other bands these days.
Sure. And I do like Architects, so I don't I don't dislike that concept, but it is really, really cool when bands have not only their own sound, but their sound can have so much variety and so many different influences and new stuff. I like crossovers, so.
Yay. And you just mentioned Dayseeker, and they made a song together with Virtue, I don't know.
Virtue.
Of Virtue. The album will be out on September 29th, so maybe that's one for you.
Talking about Dayseeker, they're coming to Europe next year. Whoop whoop. That was it for now. Oh, I have one more suggestion, recommendation. This came to me from an advert on Instagram. But I love it because the band is called Alpha Whores in one word. And it's a Spanglish wordplay. And I love it. I've been obsessed for a few days with this band now. They are really cool. It's an alternative stoner metal. They are from Panama. It's a duo and they are siblings. And the wordplay is with the word alfajores, which is a sweet snack in South America. It's like 2 cookies with caramel, with a caramel filling in between. And it comes from Argentina and Chile, maybe. But it's, we all know them in Latin America. And the fact that they named themselves kind of like that. But, Alpha Whores is way more aggressive than cookies. And I don't know if that was intended, but it just stuck out to me because it really sounds like that and looks like that kind of, and I love it. And the music is really good. Go give them a listen. I will link all of this in the description.
All right.
Yes.
Then thank you out there for listening. I hope that this have been some recommendations for you, and hope to hear from you. Oh, we have one episode for this year and then 2024.
Oh my gosh. It's over already.
Yes.
All right. See you around. Thanks, everyone.